Hey, what's up, my peeps? I'm in my friend's office here in Bucharest, Romania, and I want to talk about the business cycles and the business cycles that I've been through to give you an idea about what the next trend is and where we're heading to next as a society in terms of business. The things I've seen, the things I've been through over the past 15, 20 years, experience does pay. It really does count what you've been through in this life, what you've seen, what business trends you've been through, the ups, the downs. And the reason why I wanted to make this video actually is because of all the tech layoffs that I've been seeing recently. So a lot of people are asking, how come there's all these tech layoffs? You know, what's happening to the tech industry? You know, what should I be doing next? And, you know, like people are a bit confused, and a lot of my friends are actually losing their jobs in these tech companies, which is very painful because they're very well-abled and intelligent people. So imagine all these people losing their jobs in these tech industries. Now, when I graduated in 2009, it was the credit crunch, right? But while I was at university in 2006, 2007, 2008, the trend was to be living and working in investment banking, right? So while I was at uni, everyone was always talking about, like the epitome was to work for Goldman Sachs, for example. It was like, if you worked for Goldman Sachs after you went to Imperial, you are the holy grail. You've made it happen. You are the man. Right? So there was all this talk about getting an investment banking job, and at the time it made sense because at the time it was the highest paying industry. Okay, so it's the highest paying industry and everyone wanted to get involved, and it was like, oh, if you can work at a hedge fund or an investment bank, then you're the man, that's where you make the most money. Things changed, okay, as they do. Now, if you ask Warren Buffett about the different times and changes in business, he'd be the best man to give you these kind of answers. But ultimately, in my 36 years of existence, I've also been through 2 boom and bust cycles. And I've learned a shit ton from being in those. And so, you know, when investment banking was the talk of the town back in, you know, it was like the dot-com bubble we had in 2000, which it burst. Then you had banking was a solid, you know, had a solid 15, 20-year stint, well, longer than that even before I was around, before I graduated. So that must have been going from, you know, 2000 up till 2015, 2020, so a solid 20-year stint. But really, actually, from 2015, 2016, the next trend we saw was the technology trend. So then it was all about working in offices like this, right, which looks like the Google offices. This looks like the offices that I used to work from back in the Dublin headquarters. You know, where you give people like a nice space and you like, you know, you just make it all enticing for them to come and work for you. So at that point, the technology trend started exploding from 2015, 2016 onwards. And it became trendy to work for Facebook, Amazon, Google, Apple. Those were the companies you actually then wanted to start working for. No one wanted to work for Goldman Sachs anymore because they realized that they were just getting treated like shit. And they were still earning good money, but it was all about, you know, how do I have my own time? Am I treated well? Am I valued? And at the tech companies, they certainly showed you that they actually valued you. So, you know, I learned a shit ton from working at Google and from being in that general environment. Like, that was just so healthy for me to see, because don't forget, I've worked in investment banking. All right, I worked at UBS Investment Bank, I worked at ICAP, I worked at BB Energy Trading, I worked as an oil trader. So I was really in the thick of it, right? Really in the thick of like the banking world. So I learned about that, and I was in that cycle. And then I left that cycle to get into the technology cycle. So then I started my own technology businesses, which most of them had failed until one of them exploded and did really well, which has just brought me my freedom, brought me my wealth, and brought me the lifestyle that I have. And people are asking me to talk more about that. Now, what's the next trend? What are we looking at next? We feel like we've got all these tech layoffs. We don't feel like we're seeing it. We've got all these technology layoffs now. And people are losing their jobs, high-level developers. Now, we know why this is the case, is because we have this AI revolution now. There's this AI revolution where we just basically don't need programmers and coders anymore because we've replaced them with computers and robots. And so ultimately, that's bad news for a lot of developers and a lot of highly skilled people. Unfortunately, it means that people are going to lose their jobs and AI is going to take over, and AI is going to replace almost 90% of jobs. So what does this mean now? So we've learned, so like I've been through the cycles, right? So I saw the banking, I saw the technology. Now we're kind of seeing the technology cycle for the technology companies laying people off. So now they're expecting people to take another path, right? What's the next path in life? Where do we now go? What is the future? What does the future look like for entrepreneurs, for people that want to make money for the business cycle? What does it actually start looking like? So this is it. Now, we can all sit here and talk AI, AI, AI. That's the buzzword of the last year, and will continue to be the buzzword over the coming year. Of course, it is the trend. But what does that mean for you? So actually what the next trend is, after banking and after people worked in technology companies, the new trend is now the gig economy, okay? The gig economy, whereby people will go to experts in specific fields, in very, very specific niches, right? It could be the weirdest, most specific niche. But people online will then go to those freelancers and pay them for their expertise. That's what the gig economy now is. So you could literally be an expert in like planting certain types of, rooibos plants or whatever it is. Like, how to plant mint trees to get the perfect mint tea. I don't know. It could literally be the most strangest niche, because that's the world we live in now. It's kind of all about niching down into something that you particularly know. Makes it a bit more difficult for someone like me who has a range of different knowledge, whereby I understand business, investing, cryptocurrency, I understand fitness, nutrition, and I also understand social dynamics. So that's dating and how to socialize with women, and how to sort of capture a woman's attention, and how to find love, essentially. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at almost too many things, right? So you want to be looking at a kind of niche where you can niche down and start building your reputation for that particular product, that particular niche, that particular industry. That's where we're going now. It used to be that you got yourself a job, you got yourself a 9 to 5, or you worked for a law firm, or you worked for an investment bank and they paid you very well, or then you worked for Google or Amazon or Facebook, and they also paid you very well, and it was great. And I was treated like a bloody lord at Google. It was like mini kitchens like this on every single floor, 5 restaurants. It was just incredible. Like working for Google Dublin which is the European headquarters, it was just incredible. Like I was literally treated like a god. Whatever I wanted, I could get, and I always felt good. And at that point, I knew that like I wanted my freedom, to be honest, and I knew that was going to continue to be the trend, right? It was going to continue to be the technology trend. So tech would continue to dominate. Oh, look, it's cool. They've got some foosball tables and stuff in here. So I knew that tech was going to continue to dominate. Now it has done, but what's now happened is that tech has become revolutionized by AI, which now means that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, sadly. That's what that means, okay? So a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and they have to build their own businesses, or they have to go find other jobs, or they have to rely on entrepreneurs like myself and my friends around the world to build companies so you can hire, right? So that's going to be the next trend. It's going to be the next cycle is going to rely on entrepreneurs like myself, like my friends, to build these sorts of companies so they can hire. Otherwise, how are you going to deal with a shit ton of unemployed people around the world? Because AI has revolutionized it and taken everyone's role. We don't need developers anymore. We don't need data scientists. We don't need people that input data. AI does it all at the click of a button. So it's harsh news for most people in terms of they're going to lose their jobs, right? So we understand that. It's pretty painful. However, that's just the way capitalism and the business cycle works. So the future is the gig economy. You will be known for something in particular. The people that are building online brands are the ones who are ahead of the curve. So you actually have to start building something for yourself. Your brand, your name, it's the gig economy. People are going to come to you for a particular reason. I might niche down into a point where hedge fund managers or like high-end bankers and high-end business people who don't have time, who have a job, who can't source beautiful, wonderful women to marry, may hire me for an extremely high rate to work with them on a one-on-one basis to find them love and romance. That might be the niche that I fall into. right? So there needs to be something in particular that people come to you for. And that's how you're going to develop your role in this new gig economy, in this new future. And this is what we're going to see in the coming year, 2, and 3, as AI takes over people's jobs, as there will be less jobs available, and there'll be, the traditional industries will continue, oil, energy, retail, fashion, of course, all of that will continue to move forward, and very fast paced given the exponential curve of innovation, right? So technology is going to continue to improve every single industry to the point where you will not even need designers. You don't need a UI UX designer. You don't need an interior designer, because robots will actually do it all and will do a much better job. So again, a shit ton of people are going to lose their jobs, which is going to be really tough. But for my listeners and for you people and for myself, I know that I have to build something which is going to be very unique to me, very unique to my personality, unique to my skill sets, so that people can come to me for a specific reason. Okay? People online will come to me for a specific reason. They'll pay me for a specific reason to achieve whatever goals they need to achieve, in terms of whether it be making money, in terms of whether it be dating or fitness or diet, for example. Again, another niche that I could niche down into is, wealthy people who have 9-to-5s and don't have time and want to work out what diet would be best for their body, how they can look their best, and how they can stave off illnesses, right, by taking and employing a particular diet, which I can help them with on a one-on-one basis, right? So, this is just giving you ideas of what I'm going to niche down into and what you could potentially also niche into. Start thinking about the gig economy. Start thinking about what you could do for the world. Like, what are you good at doing? What can you help the world with? There's got to be something. People need to come to you for a particular reason. Find that reason. Find out what you're good at. Understand the gig economy is the future. AI is going to take over so many different jobs. You may lose your job. I luckily don't need a job because I've made enough money to make my own investments in the markets. And so, but of course, I now have to build this new business because I'm aware of where we're heading as a society and where the trends are heading, because I've seen it. Like I said to you, I saw banking, I saw that explode, then I saw technology, I saw all the technology companies explode. Now they're all laying people off. So now people are like, where do I go next? Well, you build your own company and you understand that you're now part of the gig economy, and you have to bring something to the table yourself in particular. What is it that you can do that no one else can do? Or what is it that you can do to get in the top 10%, top 1% of people on the planet so that people come to you and they pay you for it?